You know what time it is? It's Alex THSC. If you don't know, get to know. And you know what time it is? It's story time. And story time starts with the fact that we've got a game against Tottenham, against Leicester City at 5:30 today. The game that is after the game that we lost, our first defeat. And people saying that we're going over the top, I've been told. People are now saying that we need to get rid of Antonio Conte. He needs to be sacked. Well, firstly, let's just be honest here. If we sack Antonio Conte, it's going to all collapse, and then we won't see anything else. And then your boy, Mr. Prodigy, who we call the Don, will have to look to find somebody else who's not going to be nowhere near the elite manager we had with Antonio Conte. So, and also your hero, your man, our hero, Harry Kane, will be off like a shot. So it's pretty silly to have that opinion saying that Antonio Conte needs to leave. Yes, it's not great, and I will say it's not great. We got lucky getting top four, and I can just look at the last seven results. Why we were lucky to get top four? Look at those seven results. We lost against Brighton at home. It was awful. We drew against Brentford away. We were average. Leicester City, we won 3-1, but we were average. Average against a team that were playing in the Conference League. We drew against Liverpool. Well, Liverpool in the Champions League, and they were in the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup, and they were going for the Premier League as well. So, again, and we had one game a week. So, and we were just playing two bats of four and playing on a break. So we did okay. That's it. It was good. We got the draw, and that's it. Yeah, but it wasn't vintage. Arsenal, Arsenal, were the most bang average team that I've ever seen in my life. We didn't even perform well against Arsenal to get that result anyway. And Arsenal gave after they got the sending off, they retreated, and that's it. And also they've got a bang average manager, Arteta. Don't need to say anymore. So if you think that was vintage, that's it. The only thing vintage about that game was the fans. The fans were absolutely fantastic, and that was it. Then we go on to Burnley. Burnley were bang average again. Even though we won, we got through with a penalty. And really, to be honest with you, if Burnley had anything about them, we would have got a draw. Ironically, or try to win, and that's it. Got a win, but they didn't. Ended up going down. Ironically, after that, well, after the last game of the season, thank goodness that Leeds and Everton stayed up. And then we went on to Norwich, who were already relegated. We had the better team, superior team, so we were expected to win, which is what elite teams do. And that's what you should expect from an elite team with Harry Kane, Son, Kulicheski, Moira, to name a few. You know what I mean? So what are we talking about? Yeah, we got lucky. We got lucky because of Antonio Conte's tactics and what Antonio Conte as a manager knowing the know-how of getting us through. But it's not a vintage elite league at the moment, and that's what elite. It was an elite league. You had Manchester United, Manchester City, and Liverpool, who were head and shoulders better than all the rest, and that was it. And all the rest was just playing for top four, and that was it. And that's not elite teams. Elite teams win trophies, and that's it. Now we go on to this season, and I am going on a little bit because I have to put the proof on the pudding on this one. We look at the first game of the season, Southampton. Yes, we did okay, but Southampton were absolutely awful. They got they got the lead, and then they fell away. And you expected us to absolutely bulldoze them, and we did bulldoze them, but we didn't bulldoze them enough. A great team would have made it 7-1 or something like that. And when you got players like Harry Kane, Son, Kulicheski, you expect that sort of result, definitely, especially with Richarlison as well. Then you got Chelsea, which we didn't perform well at all, but we grinded out the result, and that was the thing that was really good about it. Yes. Then we got Wolves, and Wolves absolutely bulldozed us nearly the whole game. Yeah, second half was a little bit better, But again, because we have the better strikers, and Wolves didn't have the better striker, which is ironically because Harry Kane scored on the 64th minute, that's why we won the game. So I'm not going over the top. Nottingham Forest just came up. They looked more of a team than we did. And ironically, there's been question marks on Son. Well, that just shows you that we're just a two-man team then, if you're going to talk about Heung-min Son then, aren't you? Because Heung-min Son shouldn't be the question mark here. The whole team should be a question mark. Because if you keep on talking about one player, you know you've got a problem. Because you know what to do. You give him a rest, and then you bring somebody else in, or try and figure out another way of him playing, and that's it. He's been found out, and that's it. And it's a subject that is now getting really boring, but we have to keep on dragging it up, and that's it. Then we move on to the West Ham game, which we got bulldozed again, absolutely bulldozed, and should have lost the game, yes. And then we come to Fulham, which was a solid game, the best out of the lot, and that was it. And this is the thing I hear from Tottenham fans saying, well, we score goals because of our strikers. Because of our strikers. If you take the strikers out of the team, what do you have? Højbjerg and Bentancur. The second comer, I've been told by Bentancur. Bentancur's no better than the average midfielder that I see in the Premier League. It's just that he's got some finesse. He's got to do better than what he's doing at the moment. Højbjerg, to his credit, has shown more than Bentancur all day long. All day long. Don't get me started on Emerson. Everybody's now started to realise he's not a great right wing back. Well, I could have told you that a long time ago, but here we go. We now started jumping on the bandwagon about him now, but we all said that already. And then we've got Perisic, who's doing okay. Yes, he's better than Emerson all day long. He's better than most of our wing backs all day long. But that doesn't mean he's performing fantastic. He's doing them enough because he knows the position. But we can see more from him, yes. But he is definitely more a wing back than most of our wing backs altogether. Then we go on to Sessegnon, who I think can do better. I'm willing him on completely. I am willing him on completely. But we're not brilliant. He's not brilliant, and he needs to do more. And that's it. So, and then let's not go there with Dyer. Dyer's the most bang average defender. And I don't even know. The fact that he's in the England squad just shows how bad our England squad is for defenders. Because if you're bringing Eric Dyer into defence, who can't pass to save his life, who needs to be in the back three to make him look good, where are we going with this? He's not great. Just because Maguire's having a mare at the moment, absolutely having an absolute disastrous season at the moment, doesn't make Dyer any better than him. That just shows you the levels we are talking about. Again, I'm talking about the Premier League levels of when Manchester United and Arsenal were ruling the Premier League. I'm talking about the levels when you had Manchester United and Chelsea fighting out for the Premier League. That's the levels I am talking about, because that's that's what good levels and standard is. This is not a great standard. The only standard we can see at the moment is Manchester City, because they've got now Haaland. Now Haaland, again, he's only just started. He looks very, very, very good, but you need to be consistent. We see how he is after the second part of the season. Can he continue that form? And then we'll see whether he's a very good striker. And then can he do it the following season? Yes, the omens are very, very good, but still, we need to see more. And then I go on because I digressed. I went on to Tottenham versus Marseille, which again wasn't a very good performance. Yes, we ended up scoring 2 good goals from Richarlison, who did deserve it. But we're now going over the top about Richarlison. Richarlison's only been here 5 minutes. He's only been here 5 minutes. We're all talking like he's the best thing since sliced bread. No, he needs to do more consistency. That's a great player. That is a good player. So I don't know where we're going with this again. So now we move on to, and because of the last game being postponed, God rest our soul, our Queen, and God rest our soul, the Queen, and that's it. I mean, come on, now we've got Leicester City, and then we got, oh yeah, we had Sporting, didn't we? And we lost that game. And that's shown you, yes, we did have some chances because we've got the better strikers. So that doesn't mean we're a great team because we've got better strikers. The whole team needs to perform well. The whole team needs to perform well. And that's it. And we got found out at the end of the match because of lack of concentration. But again, we did not perform well at all. And yeah, if you're winning and you're not performing well, that's fine. But I've not seen a vintage Tottenham performance that I've seen what I know what we're going to be doing. And the only performances I've seen that are actually been decent, ironically, was the Liverpool game last year, which was last year at home during the pandemic. That 2-2 game, that was a good game. Leicester City away, that was a good game. The West Ham game was okay, and then the Newcastle game at home, which was okay, after we got through and taken the lead, and then most of the team started to play as a team later on, but the game was over after that. But those are the only games that we actually have performed well, very well, but not good. I think the better performance has been the Liverpool game, that 2-2 during the pandemic, in my opinion. And that's it. But now we've got Leicester City. Leicester City, who are struggling at the moment, declining at the moment. They have had financial difficulties, which they are which they are struggling to get through. They couldn't buy any players. They've had to sell some important players like Fofana, Schmeichel, very important players. I've only able to bring in one player, unfortunately for them, and now they are they're bottom of the table. Tottenham, if they win this game, will end up being top of the table, and that will look as being positive. Well, again, it's too early to start looking at that. The tables, we're not in May, we're not in January, we're not in February. I need to remind people again. This is story time with Mr. Box Office again, going on the past now. When we were with Mourinho, we were top of the table then. Look what happened afterwards. Don't need to say anymore. So this narrative we're saying that, oh, we're going over the top. We're not going over the top. We are not going over the top at all. This is still a long way to go. We are okay, and I've explained to you why we were okay, because we're not performing to the standards at the moment that are showing us to be a very good team. Because we've got the better strikers and we've got certain areas that are okay. That's why we are where we are, and we've got a fantastic elite coach that is getting us through the games as well, and that's given us the upper hand at the moment. At the moment, but let's not get it right. This team, Leicester City, are a very difficult team to beat. When you've got players like Maddison, Tillemans, James Justin, Evans, Ndidi. Some of those players could get into our squad and do a good job. Pereira, Castagna, they're all good players, all very good players that anybody would want in their squad. I mean, there's Harvey Barnes. there's so many players that they have that are very good players that didn't pay a lot of money, didn't know a lot about them. I mean, Fofana's gone now; he's gone to Chelsea, but for £80 million when they paid not that much money for him. So it shows you the quality that they bring in and they develop and end up being very, very good players and very good investment as well. So it shows you a lot there completely. Now, for me, this this is a very interesting game. This is a game that we should be winning, regardless what the performance is. We should be winning. And what I would like to see is better set pieces from us. Yes, I know the football's not going to be great. No, but I think we should be taking more of an opportunity with our set pieces, our crosses, and making better of those opportunities, our corners, and taking those opportunities and making the most of those. If we can't get through counter-attacking football or trying to press them or pressing them, we should take more, make the most of our free kicks and our corners, and that's it. And that is what I look to us to do better in as well. Because I know the quality of football isn't going to be great. I've accepted it. Yeah, I'll still criticise it, yes. But I still feel there needs to be improvement that side of things because that cannot continue. And that's it. And really, yeah, Tottenham need to win this game. Yeah, it's a must-win game. If we don't win this game, it's not a good result if we don't win this game. But it's only the beginning of the season, so I can't get too angry because there's still so much time to go, and we still haven't got even through the World Cup yet. So this is not a this is not a panic or not even a. There's nothing really to say. We're doing, we're in a good position still, regardless. And at the end of the day, it's just about points time of the year and this time of the year. So moving on, hopefully Tottenham can win and get through the game. A little bit of a better performance than we saw against Sporting. Sporting, I still stick by what I said in my last video. It was a terrible performance. We're not a Champions League team. We are not a Champions League team. We are at best a Europa League team. It proved it. Yes, on Wednesday we're not a Champions League. Tuesday we're not a Champions League team. We didn't perform well against Marseille either, and those teams are not elite teams. So that just shows you that we lack quality, and that thing that makes us be able to compete with these teams. So for me, yeah, not a great. That just proved it to me on Tuesday, and that was it. But that's all I can say today. Another story time with Mr. Box Office. And until next time, hopefully Tottenham can do well and win the game. But I'm out of here.